and sharing it with the entire world. So be on your best, show your face as often as you can, speak as often as you can when asked, and enjoy today's session. So I'll go ahead and share my screen again now with everyone and tell you where we are and what we are. First of all, welcome back, everyone. Tanzania, thank you for joining us. I know it's 7 p.m. in Tanzania. Here in America, where I am, it's 11 a.m., so I'll say good morning to you from here. You are joining us at the TELTA and U.S. State Department 2022-2023 Continuing Professional Development Sessions, where we are doing a series of 10 sessions, one every 2 weeks, where we do things that try and make life easier for ourselves in the classroom, academically, and in our personal lives, things that we can share. I am your host for these sessions. My name is MJ, Matthew Jasnewski, but everyone who knows me and loves me calls me MJ, and I invite you to do the same. My partners and friends here today that need to be introduced, of course, our wonderful team, Petro Akoth, whose face I could see. Thank you, Petro. And Irene Maganga and Kessia and Godlove and all of you. There's Spallan, and there's also Dr. Onesmo, who's helped us out in the past. And we're going to be joined today by another colleague named Onesmo. I want to thank all of you. I do every time, and I don't want it to sound like it's perfunctory. I really do want to thank you for all of the hard work I see you do. I watch you do every week from the background. I see all your conversations and see all your work, and I'm very impressed by everything that this team does. So I want to applaud you and take time now in front of everyone to thank you. And of course, our leader and friend, Ayub Masuya, the president of TELTA, who also makes all of this possible every time we do these. Without him, none of this happens, without his guidance and energy. And then, of course, there's the U.S. Embassy. Thank you very much for the funding and for the assistance and guidance from them. And in particular, our best friend, Laura Shio, who without none of this happens. She helps all of us in her own unique way. She's always there to help everyone, and I would be remiss if I didn't thank her. So now to our audience, thank all of you for joining us, Tanzania, all across the country today. And I am glad you're here because this is an opportunity for us to share a lot of great things today about vocabulary and grammar and about alternative, just a variety of things we can do in the classroom to make things easier for ourselves. And it's an action-packed session. I'm going to be taking the first 45 minutes, then there'll be 45 minutes with a colleague, and I will not be finished with my portion today. I will need to continue in the next session with part 2 of this. So that's how much we've got packed into today. So I don't want to rush today. We're going to take our time. Poor Irene, the last 4 sessions or the last 4 groups has had to hurry a very wonderful presentation. And I don't want to do that this time. We're going to take our time today. And we're also going to do breakout rooms today. And I want to take a moment to encourage everyone to participate in those breakout rooms. And I'm not just encouraging you to participate in today. I'm telling you that if you don't participate in them, we're going to be keeping track of the names. And if we see that you miss 1 or 2 breakout rooms, that's okay. But if you miss more than that and you're not doing it regularly, we're going to go ahead and have to mark you absent for the session. You have to participate. You can't just turn your phone on, sign in, and walk away from the session. I know everyone likes to take a break, maybe go to the bathroom or grab a cup of coffee during the session. That's fine. That's the joy of working virtually. But we don't disappear for the session. And when breakout rooms come, that's when we make sure we make time to be there. Okay, let's make that arrangement now and make sure we understand. Because I noticed that when we're having breakout rooms, sometimes 5 or 6 people are staying behind in the main room. And that's, you're missing your chance to speak and be heard. I mean, the most important part of this is your chance to speak and be heard. So please, everyone, participate in the breakout rooms and make the most of them. So thank you very much for all of those introductions. I know they take a long time, but it's important that everyone be acknowledged and we talk about what we're doing here. So now let's move along and see what slide is next here. So session 4 today, part 1 is going to be me talking about vocabulary and grammar made easier, not so much easy, because I think teaching is always a challenge and learning is always a challenge, but we can make it easier on ourselves and our students. And that's what I'm going to try and do today with my portion of this. The second part of this, we're going to talk about collaborative teaching and working together in a classroom and to prepare lessons and how we do that. And I'm excited about that because I wasn't involved in planning that. So I'm going to be a student during this one, which brings me to our last session. I have to revisit session 3 because Irene did such a wonderful job, and all of you, group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, every session had wonderful ideas during the breakout rooms on how to introduce themselves to students, how to learn students' names, how to creatively manage a classroom full of large numbers, having variety. I had such a list of things. And I want to tell you that I took a lot of those ideas to heart last session because I'm already thinking about how I can use them in my lessons and in my work. So I want to thank all of you for all those wonderful ideas. And that's why the breakout rooms are so powerful, because they give you a chance to share your experience and expertise with everyone, and more importantly, with an international audience. I'm from America. Our videos go out to the Philippines. They go out all across Africa. So it's a wonderful opportunity to interact with an international audience. So, and I want to thank everyone again for last session. So we're going to start today right away with a breakout room. I want you all to go into groups, and we're going to talk about whether it's easier or more challenging to teach and learn vocabulary or grammar. Which one is easier? Now, I have it worded a particular way here because I want everyone to talk about their personal experience and their personal view as teachers and students. Which is easier to teach? Which is easier to learn in your eyes and in the eyes of your students? I'd like you to go into your groups, talk about this for about 8 minutes. We'll use the entire 8 minutes, and then we'll come back and talk in a group, I hope. Okay, thank you all very much. Again, which one is easier, grammar or vocabulary for students and for you? Okay, and here we go. I'm going to pause sharing, and we'll stop sharing. We'll do that, and we'll do breakout rooms now. Why can't I find my breakout rooms? What's wrong here? Can anyone help me? I'm not seeing breakout rooms at the bottom of my screen for some reason. More? Ah, there we go. There we go. I already set them. Here we go. I've got it now. You can't hide from me, guys. There we go. I'm going to create 5 rooms. And please, everyone, again, make sure you join a room. Thank you very much. Here they go. They're all open now. Thank you for your patience. Okay. Everyone should be joining now, please. I should be all alone, except for one colleague or maybe 2. Thank you. And of course, God love and everyone else, if you could go into the rooms and kind of help people. Hi, Mary, I'll assign you to a group. We'll give you group 2. There you go. Thank you, everyone. Very good. Everyone should be disappearing and joining rooms. Very good. Very good. Zeduna and Solomon, if you could please join a room, that would be great. This is your chance to talk to your colleagues and meet your friends, please. Miss Burr, I'll help you here. Okay, room 3. And Zaiduna, I think you're in room. You should be in room 5. So you should be joining room 5, please. Okay. I should be all alone here, everyone. Upendo, you should be in a room. Again, everyone, please, if you're not in a room, you're missing the opportunity that you're supposed to be getting out of these. Okay, thank you. Zaiduna, are you having very good, you joined. How about Misper? Misper, are you having issues joining a room? Are you there, brother? If I can help you, let me know, Misper. Please join a room if you can. Are you there, sir? Okay, hopefully you'll be able to join a room. Okay, and Lucy, are you able to join the room? Can I help? Lucy Massere? I hope I'm saying it right. If you're here, please try and join the room. Very good, very good. Mary, I see you're working to try and join one. Very good. If you can, do your best. Lucy, same thing, do your best. If you're having any trouble, make sure you let your regional TELTA representatives know that you can't join the room. Okay. All right. Lucy, I hope there you go. I hope Lucy was able to join. Mary, you're the only one with me. I hope you can join a room. It's a great idea if you can. If you can join a group, just accept the invitation. And that way you can speak and be heard by your group. Okay. Noah, I'll go ahead and assign you a room. You'll go to group 3. Very good. Okay. And Mary, again, if you can join a group, that would be wonderful. Okay. Oh, that's wonderful. Hi, Johanna. If you can join your group, that would be great. You still have about 5 minutes to join the discussion. Good luck. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Onesmo, I see you're joining us. Wonderful. Great to see you, sir. I understand you'll be presenting part 2 today. I'm looking very much forward to that. I'm very much looking forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you, please. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, brother. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So, okay, everyone should be joining us in again about 20 seconds. I want to thank my colleagues, Godlove and Irene, and my fellow TELTA colleagues for managing the breakout rooms and being in there. I'm looking forward to some wonderful ideas and what people's thoughts are about what is easier, whether it is easier to teach grammar. Okay, everyone should be back and joining us now. First of all, I want to thank everyone for quickly joining the breakout rooms this time. And again, for those of you having trouble, just keep trying, do your best. I don't want to pressure anyone. I just think it's just a wonderful thing to be able to work together here like this. And you should take the opportunity to be heard. And now it's your turn. So let's start with group one, number one. Anyone who was in group one who would like to share what you think is easier to teach and learn, grammar or vocabulary, or are they the same? Tell us your thoughts. Share them with the group. Anyone? Group one? Not all at once now. Okay, who was in group one? Who all was in group one?
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir, I can, Shadrach. Please feel free to take the floor.
Okay, in group number one, we're looking at which is easier between grammar and the vocabulary. For me, grammar is easier than vocabulary. Since grammar, we consider the most initial stage of learning a language. For instance, we start with simple sentences by considering the nouns, by considering the pronouns, and then a learner can start making simple sentences in a very gradual way, in a very systematic way. Therefore, it becomes easier for a learner to grasp the vocabulary when it comes, as we have the foundation. So I feel like grammar is a foundation of vocabulary. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you, Shadrach. That's a wonderful comment. This is why I love these sessions, because I hadn't thought of it that way before. So thank you, sir. All right, anyone else from group one? Or any group really, but I'd like to go in order. If we've got group one.
Hello.
Hi, Hoja. Is that how you say it, Hoja?
Yes, for me, teaching vocabulary is easier when you compare with teaching grammar, because grammar generally has so many things like those rules, the issues to do with the pronunciation, the issues to do with the syntax, word formation, morphology. So according to me, I think vocabulary can be easily taught than the grammar, because you are able to break into small pieces of information and convey to the learners in a simple way. Thank you.
Thank you, Hoja. Wonderful. I appreciate that comment. And I have a lot of comments of my own, but I want to save them till I hear much more from you guys. How do I say it? Sister Priska, is that it?
Yes.
Okay, the floor is yours.
In group number 3, we discussed it together that, and we come to the conclusion that teaching vocabulary is easier than grammar, because teaching grammar is very wide. It takes a long time to teach, and it is very complicated because it has got many rules, and sometimes we miss that rules. So if you compare teaching grammar and the vocabulary, you can tell maybe your student every day to come with 2 new words, and for that they increase their vocabulary. But this grammar is very complicated because it has got many rules. So for us, we concluded that teaching vocabulary is much easier than grammar.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. And again, yes, there are a lot of rules to grammar. Grammar is a lot like mathematics. I'm going to talk about that more. Matthias, would you like to add something? Then we'll take Shetty and then I'll have to move on. But Matthias, please, your floor is yours.
Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody.
In the group 2, we discussed the issue of teaching grammar and vocabulary. Also, we come to conclusion that teaching vocabulary is too easier because we can use some simple readings and we can use some songs, but grammar is more complicated. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthias. I appreciate it. And Upendo and Shetty, and these will be the last two. Shetty, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. In our group from Group 4, we discussed about it is very easy to teach and to learn vocabulary due to the poor English background to our pupils, especially in primary level. Many pupils, they need to translate. They need to know, first of all, vocabulary. So you have to translate even almost the whole passage so that they can understand what a teacher is teaching about. So it is very easy to learn and to teach vocabulary rather than grammar. Thank you.
Okay, if I understood that correctly, before I get to you, Upendo, I want to kind of paraphrase what Shetty just said. I think I agree with this because, and I'm going to touch on this, that at earlier levels, lower levels, elementary, beginner, vocabulary is easier to acquire, easier to learn, easier to teach, I think, than grammar, unless it's very, very, very basic grammar. But I think vocabulary is easier to acquire at the lower levels. And I would agree with that. But I think there's some discussion as we grow in our language, whether or not it's easier to learn grammar or vocabulary as we become more developed. And I'm giving a hint now about what I want to cover next. Okay, Johanna, you're going to have to be the last one I take. I hope, Upendo, I hope you don't mind. I don't see your hand up anymore. Johanna, one last comment before I move on.
Thank you very much. With me, I can say that actually to learn and to teach grammar is more complicated compared to vocabulary, because vocabulary covers all about learning words, new words, and new terminology, new words in a language. So a learner is very easy to acquire words from various, maybe we can say maybe scriptures or whatever. So with me, I can say actually grammar is complicated and the vocabulary is easier to learn and acquire. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Okay, Upendo, you've had your hand up. I'm going to go ahead and take your comment, and then that'll be the last one. Upendo, the floor is yours.
Vocabulary is easy to teach. Consider what the meaning. So only the teacher is supposed to do is just to give the vocabulary from and its main words.
Upendo, I'm sorry. Yeah, you were breaking up very bad. I apologize. Perhaps the internet is giving you some trouble. We'll hope for better luck next time. Okay, I'm going to move on because I want to talk about some of the things that we just shared and talk about the way I look at them and some things that I talk about. Well, first of all, when teaching vocabulary, I believe in the 5 Ps, of course. I believe in preparing when we're teaching vocabulary or grammar. And for grammar, I think that means knowing the rules of grammar. And here's what I want to talk about what I heard just now, that it's easier to teach vocabulary. And it is at lower levels. And that's not just true for students. That's true for teachers. When I first began teaching, vocabulary was the area I was comfortable with naturally. Grammar was the area that I had to learn to teach. It was the area I had to practice more at in order to get better at it. So proper preparation is the key to teaching either one, okay? And with grammar, we're dealing with rules. Yes, it's always rules, rules, rules. Oops, I froze. I froze there for a moment, everyone. Let's come back. Can you see me now? There we go, I'm back. I apologize. I froze there briefly. Okay, so back to grammar and vocabulary. I got distracted now. But what I wanted to say was that with grammar, we have a lot of rules, yes, for present tense, past tense, continuous or progressive tense, participles. We have all different rules for plural and singular, for possessive, for phrasing. And yes, there are a lot of rules with grammar. But what I would say to you today is that the rules with grammar are finite. They are limited. There are X number of rules when we teach grammar, and that's it. Once you learn the grammar rules for present simple, for past simple, for present continuous, past continuous, all of the different forms of tenses, the plural, once you learn these rules, that's it. It's a question of memorizing them and practicing them, which is why the 5 Ps also includes practice makes perfect. But for our purposes, I want to think about the fact that when we learn early, learning vocabulary is easier, we absorb more, and learning grammar is a little bit harder. But as we go on, there's a smaller amount of grammar to learn and memorize, and vocabulary becomes more sophisticated, more complex, more nuanced. We start to learn that a word is not just a word. It can be a noun and a verb sometimes. It can be all different kinds of words. A little word can be all kinds of words if we add suffixes or prefixes to it. And so vocabulary at lower levels, yes, is easier. Vocabulary at higher levels, I humbly submit, is more complicated. And grammar at higher levels becomes easier because the foundation is the hard part. So that's what I wanted to share with you there. Now I'd like to move on. And again, we're going to do another breakout group. And this time, I want to put you into a group and ask you to talk about how you introduce new vocabulary. Our focus now is going to be on vocab. How do we introduce new vocab? Do we highlight it? Do we, I don't want to give away things that I might think that you want to do. I want you to go into your groups and talk again about how you teach a group new vocabulary. What do you do as a teacher? What are your techniques? Share them together. Think about the effective ways that your students enjoy those 2 words, effective and your students enjoy it, learning new vocabulary. Okay, and then come back and share that with us. We're going to take, again, around 10 minutes total to do this. And then we're going to come back and have a short discussion. I'll have a few more things to say. And then I'm going to turn it over to our colleague. But again, effective ways that we, effective and enjoyable ways that we introduce new vocabulary. And let me stop sharing here and immediately get to breakout rooms. And here we go. And as you're assigned, please go to a room. Thank you very much. I see a lot of you here. Okay, everyone. At this point, you should be joining rooms again, please. Zaiduna, Claudia, Hazra, Alfonsina, Zena, Damas. As much as I enjoy your company, you should be in breakout rooms with your colleagues, please. Thank you very much. Those of you who are still here, please keep trying to join rooms if you can. Do your best. I know it's not always easy, but don't be shy. We're all friends and we're all colleagues, and this is your chance to speak and be heard. So please take advantage of it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mary, Hoja, Johanna. Yes, all of you should be in groups right now. Damas, here, let me assign you to a group. And whoever has their microphone unmuted, unless I can help you, can I help you at all? Mary, try and join a group if you can. Do your best. Okay. Everyone, Misper, Upendo, Damas. Everyone should be trying to join groups. Well done. And if you're having trouble, don't give up. Just keep doing your best. It's okay. Technology gets the best of all of us. And we're going to take about another 4 minutes, I think. And then we're going to talk briefly. Okay, Hazra, let's see, we'll assign you to group 1. Johanna, we'll try and assign you to group 5. Very good. Okay. Damas, you have your hand up. Would you like to say something? Damas or Damas? I'm not sure how I'm saying it. Okay, again, there's still a few people here, but we're doing our best. I appreciate everyone trying to join rooms. So we're trying. Okay, in about 2 more minutes, we're going to stop the rooms. Again, keep trying. If you can't connect to a room, do your best. Because this is your chance, folks. This is where you get to use these rooms to talk and to be heard, to speak and be heard. Practice your English. I see Zoom user here. I don't know who you are. Could you identify yourself, please? Hello, Zoom user. Are you there? Okay, Rose, very good. Rose, we'll assign you to a group here. We've only got a minute left though, but we'll do our best here. Okay, I appreciate everyone trying. I want to thank everyone who's returning now. We'll have everyone back in about 30 seconds. Matthias, I see you have your hand raised while we're waiting for others to join us. Is there something you'd like to say?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. That in our group number 2, we have discussed the different ways.
Hold on, Matthias. Please wait till everyone comes back. Give us just 1 minute. Another 10 seconds, they'll be back. I'll call on you first. Thanks for being patient. Thank you. Okay, now everyone should be rejoining us in a moment. And I'll quickly go back to before we went to the breakout rooms. First, we talked about what was easier to teach, vocabulary or grammar. And I think there's a variety of ways to look at that. And now we're going to focus on teaching vocabulary. And in particular, how we introduce new vocabulary. That was what I wanted you to talk about. And so, Matthias, I'll go ahead and start with you since you were very quick. Please share your thoughts with the group. Thank you, Matthias. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you'll need to unmute, brother. Can you unmute, Matthias? Okay, Matthias, we'll come back to you. Zayduna, we're ready for you if you'd like to take the floor. That would be great. You'll need to unmute. Zayduna, are you there? Okay, can you unmute? Salim, do you want to try?
For to be good.
Oh, hold on, Matthias. Oh, Salim, please wait. We're going to go back to Matthias now. We
Okay.
lost you, Matthias. Salim, go ahead, please. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. Thank you very much. Of teaching vocabulary, and we come to realize we have to highlight the new word. We put it on the chalkboard and we pronounce it correctly to the students. We can leave the vocabulary for some moment to the students to memorize, and then we can explain direct translation, or we can use a dictionary, and from there, students are going to enjoy very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthias. That was worth the wait. Yeah, so a lot of us like to pre-teach vocabulary. We put a list up. Okay, who's next? Zaiduna, would you like to go next, please? And then we'll come to Salim.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, hold on, Salim. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Zaiduna. Go ahead, Zaiduna.
Yes, we can use different songs and read. We can use different songs and read so as we can share our pronunciation to the majority of students. They can use our mouth to see.
Zaiduna, we're having a real hard time hearing you. I apologize. I'm going to have to mute you, and we'll see if we can get your connection sorted out. I apologize so much. Salim, are you there? Hello, Salim. You ready? We're going to try and come back to Zaiduna when her internet is better. But
Do you
Salim,
get me?
please go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
In our group, we talked about 3 techniques. The first one, when you reach in the class, you normally list the vocabularies you want to teach on that day. Then you start now teaching them how to pronounce the words. After they have pronounced the words, you tell them to match the meaning of the vocabulary and the vocabulary itself. The second way is that there's a game. For example, I'm going to talk about malaria. So one of the member stands at the middle and the other one stands at the corner. Now you start throwing the ball. With the one who receives the ball must mention one vocabulary on the topic concerned. And sometimes that one can make them funny, but also it makes them understand easier the topic you are going to teach on that day. Thank you.
Thank you, Salim. That was worth it also. Sister Priska, and then John Julius, and then that'll be it. I'll have to move on, but thank you, everyone. All right, sister.
Okay, thank you very much. In our group, we shared, for example, we want to teach a new vocabulary. We can draw the picture of that thing. We can draw the picture and tell the student that this is called so and so. For example, you can draw maybe a house, or you can draw a car, you can draw maybe a tree, and they tell your student, this is called a tree, this is called a house, this is called a car. So for that way, they come to understand the many vocabulary. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was an excellent one. I had forgotten about that one. And that's why we do these sessions, because I have often used pictures and illustrations to teach vocabulary, but that wasn't in my list. So thank you very much for your group for that. John Julius, you're going to be our last one before we move along. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Jay. To make conclusion on that, in our group number 3, we had some discussions saying that sometimes we have to present some ideas on short stories depending on the context we are presenting. Then let pupils or learners describe them on the uses. But this depends on the presentation of the story itself. Now, the learners will have to illustrate, they will have to analyze out the words used there, which are vocabulary, and their uses according to the story itself presented to them.
I agree, John. I think that, again, I think if I understood you correctly, competition is another thing that we can use in our classrooms. We're able to involve students using competition, using songs. And these are great ways for teaching vocabulary and or grammar, and depending on the levels. I want to thank everyone for your participation on that. And now I want to share my screen again because I'm running a little short of time, and I'm going to do a second session on this, but there are a couple things I'd still like to cover for today. And again, I want to thank everyone for your participation in the breakout room. And I want to thank everyone for afterwards for sharing your ideas. And Irene, thank you for reminding everyone you can share a lot of your ideas in the chat box, and we can go through those as well. So before I close today, I'm going to use another 5 minutes, and I hope my co-host Onesmo doesn't mind. But this is important, and I promised we wouldn't rush. So, okay, so we know that vocabulary, again, like grammar, is something that we have different ways of teaching to different levels, but some things work universally. Songs, activities, competition, different ones work better with different levels. But the important thing is that we introduce or highlight new vocabulary. And there's a lot of techniques for doing that. And another thing that we do is we can teach contextual acquisition and analysis. What that really means is studying where we see a word or where we hear a word. Is it in a newscast? Is it in a conversation? Does it belong to a group of words or a topic? Contextual acquisition and analysis works more effectively at higher levels than it does at lower levels. Lower levels, it's more about repetitive and illustrative, but contextual acquisition and analysis works when we're dealing with multiple meanings and nuance, and we start to expand vocabulary. We don't just know a word, we know 4 meanings for the word or 4 usages for the word and where it belongs in what conversation. So we introduce or highlight, we teach context, and then of course practice makes perfect. We practice, we practice, we practice. We start by reading it or hearing it, then we pronounce it and write it ourselves, and we repeat this process. We've learned through study after study that the best way to retain knowledge is by practice, whether it's reading, writing, or speaking or listening. So if you want to learn new vocabulary, you have to speak it and write it. You have to hear it and see it. And we have to give our students tasks and projects that allow them to use the vocabulary we want them to use. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do one more slide before I turn the floor over to my colleague Onesmo. And this is, again, contextual analysis really is, where do we hear the word? Where do we see it? Where is it in the sentence? Where is it in a paragraph? If it's a new word we come across, we're reading, and our students or us, we're reading a book, we're reading a report, and we see a word and we go, wait a second, I haven't seen that word before. I'm going to look it up in my dictionary. No, I'm not right away. I'm not. I'm going to look for my translator. No, I'm not. I'm going to look at the context. I'm going to look at the words before it and after it and see if that doesn't help me right there in the sentence locally. Then if it still's not clear to me, I'm going to look at the paragraph and the topic and who's saying it and the time and the place to try and figure it out myself. Because this is how we really learn language. When we're learning language by thinking ourselves, now we're elevating ourselves. When we're learning it by going to a dictionary or an online translator or asking our teacher what a word means, we're learning it, yes, but we're not learning it ourselves. We're not teaching ourselves to learn. And so I would say to you that contextual analysis is the way that we have to strive to teach vocabulary as quickly as we can with our students. Get them asking these questions. Where is the word? What comes before it? What comes after it? Can I figure it out on my own before reaching for a dictionary or a translator or calling the teacher on the, and asking, can you tell me the meaning? Remember vernacular or lexicon, which are words and phrases that belong to a topic. If we're talking about anatomy or the body, and we see arm, leg, finger, and then we see, shoulder, or maybe we see glutamus maximus. We see a word that we don't know. but we know it has something to do with the body. And maybe when we think about it, we can figure out most of the meaning. This is when we're really learning vocabulary, not when we're being fed the vocabulary and asked to practice it. That's an effective way to acquire vocabulary early on. But the best way to acquire and keep vocabulary and to make it a part of you is to practice, practice, practice it. Okay, another thing, we're going to come back to this next week. I'm not done with this lesson by any means. As you can see, we have a lot to cover. Now we're going to talk about root words. Next week, I have a whole section on root words and how one little word can become 20 words if we know how to add suffixes and prefixes to it, how to make it plural or possessive, past tense, continuous. All of these start with a root word. If we can find the root word inside another word and then plug in suffixes and prefixes, now we're really learning vocabulary. When we know that ION is always a noun, ENT is always a noun. Certain endings on words always mean a certain thing. Once we start looking at words like a scientist or a mathematician, now we're really learning vocabulary. So I'm going to have to close here because I just have so much to share with you, but we're pretty much out of time at this point. So, and I'll share all of this next week. I want to thank you for joining us for part 1 of an action-packed session 4. And again, I would like to remind you of the things that I think are most important from today, which is that number 1, teaching vocabulary is more complex than just pre-teaching a set of words and practicing it by rote. It's more rewarding when we start to teach it to ourselves. Okay, I hope that got through, number 1, and I hope that number 2 that got through, which is that competition and inclusive activities like music and dancing and all of these things work for all ages and levels of learners to get them engaged in your lessons. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining the breakout rooms, for your wonderful ideas. I look forward now to hearing Onesmo tell us about collaborative teaching. And Onesmo, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And if you're out there, I'll go ahead and make you a co-host. Onesmo, can you raise your hand for me or wave? And I can find you and make you a co-host. Are you there, Onesmo?
Yes, I'm there, MJ.
There you are. I see you now. And I'm going to make you a co-host. Wait a second. You moved. Hold on. No. Where'd you go? My screen jumped. There we go. I see Onesmo now. Make co-host. Okay. And may I see your face for a moment, Onesmo? Is it possible?
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
It sounds like the same Onesmo, my colleague and friend. We haven't met before, have we?
No idea. Maybe in Rwanda. Were you in Rwanda? And the
Perhaps.
2018 TELTA conference? Perhaps.
Perhaps. But Onesmo, the floor is yours, sir. And I'm sorry if I took a little bit of your time. I look forward to your presentation, brother. And your co-teachers are here to help if you need any assistance. Thank you very much and best of wishes.
Okay, thank you. I will have to mute my video because of the internet connection, so I can increase some strength. And I go ahead to share my screen. Bear with me.
Very good. We can see your screen, sir. Yeah.
Yes. Now, good evening, everyone. Once again, I've already been introduced, and I'm teaching teamwork and peer mentorship. So I'm just trying to compare the teamwork versus the peer mentorship. I just introduced the definition that teamwork is all about collective effort versus where you have someone encouraging one-on-one dynamic kind of coaching. I'm saying that the teamwork focuses on effectiveness and efficiency, while peer mentorship focuses or involve both the mentee and the mentor playing different roles. So I started with this kind of paragraph, and it's an exercise where we are going to have a break rooms. Now we have this Mwalim Kaja facing troubles for his students' poor performance. What are the troubles? The ward education officer asks him to explain for why there was a massive failure. On the same line, the headmistress writes him a warning letter. But Mwalim Kaja is stranded. But Mwenda truly understands Kaja's plane and obstacles, so he renders the help. Now, we are going to go into the room, and maybe the co-hosts will help me break into the rooms. Try to do me a favor. Yes, please. Mr. MG?
Yes, I'm here. I'm going to open the breakout rooms as soon as you give me you tell me, go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to clarify the instruction that
Perfect.
In the rooms, I don't know if they will have access to these slides, but they need to get familiar with the scenario. Then they identify two features that the two teachers share in common. Then identify the two things that the teachers differ.
Onesmo, I'm going to interrupt you. I think Irene has raised her hand, and I'm going to let her talk, but I think we're going to talk about how we need to put this in the chat box, perhaps. Irene, the floor is yours.
Hello, I was trying to say the same thing. If we can copy it and put it in the chat box, or if that's not possible, then people can at least screenshot.
I hope everyone heard that. If you can, take a screenshot, or if possible, Irene or if someone else could perhaps share it in the chat box, so that way Onesmo could stay focused on his presentation. Thanks, everyone. Okay, Onesmo, I'm ready when you are to open the rooms. Okay, everyone should be in breakout rooms now. Please. Again, this is your opportunity to speak and be heard with your colleagues. Thank you very much. Hi, Irene. I don't know if you know Onesmo, but maybe you could reach out and find out. He's in room 1, I believe. Find out when he wants to close the breakout rooms. Perhaps he's waiting for me. I don't know. If you don't mind. Excuse me.
Hello.
Hello, Nesmo. I came for
Yes.
you and then you went away.
Oh, sure. Did you set a time limit, please? I did not indicate the time. I thought 8 to 10 minutes would be enough.
Shall we announce 1 minute?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, everyone will be rejoining us in 1 minute. My favorite part is the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Okay, everyone should be back, Onesmo. They're all yours.
Thank you. Well, this is the question now. Can we hear the presentation? At least if we can get 3 people, and maybe MJ will help me get them. From 1 from each room, at least.
Okay, hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Shadrach, go ahead.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, for me, the major difference between these 2 teachers is that the other teacher is frustrated because of the mass failure of the students, but the other teacher has a courage to empower the other teacher emotionally and professionally, that there is a second chance to improve the situation. Therefore, the other teacher appears to be a mentor, and the other teacher appears that he has failed to help learners perform well. Therefore, he needs assistance from the other fellow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. I can't locate who is talking.
Yes, for me, what I see. Hello?
Hi,
Yes,
it's Hojo.
Hoja, go
Hojo,
ahead.
you have the floor. Go ahead.
Yes, what I see, the first teacher was easily discouraged by what was happening. It's like when a teacher teaches and provides something like an exercise, then he finds there is failure. And instead of maybe developing new methods of solving the problem, this person faces a situation of discouragement. But the second teacher is different from the first one in that he sees the challenge. Instead of getting totally discouraged, he's still planning a new way of dealing with the existing situation. So for me, I think we should follow the second teacher's approach. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have one more, please?
Nataki, you had your hand raised before. Would you like to say something?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. Yes. For me, I was thinking that the difference between these two teachers is the second teacher, Mr. Mwenda, maybe has experienced such challenge before, and there are some steps that he took to recover from that situation. So he's eager to encourage his fellow to come up and take it positive than being discouraged. So it's better you take something positive from any challenge you face. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I will have to continue. And now I just posed this question because the focus is on peer mentorship. So the question will be, who is the mentor? And these are the possible answers that I had. Oh, my slides can't move.
Hello, doctor. You didn't share the slide. Maybe that is why it doesn't move.
I thought I shared. Okay, let me share.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, meanwhile you are sharing, we can keep on reading in the chat box. In the chat box, we have Shady. Shady saying, emotional intelligence and teamwork player, the difference.
I also have something to share on the experience part there, God love. And when I heard before, well, I forget who was commenting, but I heard someone talking about experience, the one teacher having a better approach based on experience. And I've been doing training and teaching since I was in the military back in the late 1970s, early 80s, a long time ago. And one of the things you learn in training is that experience is as valuable or more valuable than teaching and training. You can get a PhD, you can get an MA, you can get all these degrees, but someone who is working and who has been working for a long time has learned a lot about how to deal with students, how to deal with particular lessons, how to deal with technology. And so experience, I think, is the difference in these two scenarios. That would be my contribution. The floor is yours, Anesmo.
Okay, thank you. Now, I hope I'm sharing the screen already. I'm saying that, yes, both teachers first seems to be friends, because you wouldn't tell someone's challenge unless is close to, and both know the politics, reporting lines, and the challenges within the working environment. But looking at the first teacher who rendered help, looks like a mentor, is more experienced than the other. And this Kaja needed more help. So this takes me to what are the important steps in getting the mentor. The important steps in getting the mentor, I'll just mention 3. And the first is finding a co-worker. What are the traits or what do you look into getting the co-worker? First, look at the teammate. But this teammate is someone who has a very distinctive background and view. But don't look for someone whom you have similar experience, because he wouldn't help. You need someone who has an identical or different experience, but who should be honest and ready to help. So I have this. We are going to go back into the room and get a mentor. First, sorry, we need to go to the room, get a mentor. You need to identify the goal. Why, what do you want to be mentored? Remember, the first we had the problem. Now, what is your problem? I will create the problem here. What is the area that you need to be mentored? Ask your roommate who is ready to help in that problem that you have identified. Then explore the connection. I don't know if I'm making sense out of this. In the room, we are going to have 8 minutes break. In the room, identify the area that you feel like I need to be helped. For example, we had teaching vocabulary versus grammar. I feel like I need to be taught on how to teach grammar. Someone within the room will have the strength to help you. Then identify that person. Then think on how you can go along with that person to get mentored. So I asked MJ or whoever the co-host to take us into the room, and later they'll come and tell us who got who and what are the strengths.
Okay, I'll open breakout rooms now, sir.
You're welcome.
And perhaps again, we might want to cut and paste and put that in the chat box if someone could help with that.
Absolutely, sure.
Thank you, everyone. Good teamwork. One of the things I love about this group, every session, no matter what group, 1, 2, 3, and 4, everyone helps each other and does their best to be respectful, and that's really nice. Okay, everyone should be joining breakout rooms now. I've noticed a few of the same people each time have not been joining. Please go ahead and join your colleagues. It is your chance to speak and to be heard by your colleagues, please. Thank you. And I'm going to disappear for a minute. But first, I see quite a few people here. And while I enjoy all this company, really, it's best for you and for the team if you can join a group. Keep trying. If you're having technical difficulty, do your best. Here, Pendo, I can help there. I can give you a group. Wow, I have 5 groups with 7 people in each one. Well, Pendo, you will be the 8th person in group 3. Good luck. Okay. Cosmos, I don't know if you're having trouble joining a group, but if you can, please do. You've been assigned to group 2. So please join group 2 if you can. Lucy, I believe you are in group 1. If you can join group 1, please. And how about Cloudy? Very good, Cloudy. Oh, someone's microphone is unmuted. Johanna, please, if you can, mute your microphone. Thank you. And again, everyone should be trying to join groups. Do your best, everyone, please. This really is the golden opportunity for you to practice your skills, to study and learn from each other. Your English skills, your teaching skills. Please, please take advantage of it. This is a wonderful opportunity. I'll see what I can do to help anyone who's not in a group. Hazra, I'll assign you to a group. Let's see which one I can put you in. Let's try group 1, Hazra. Good luck. And Lucy, if you can try, I believe you're assigned to group 1, Lucy. If you can try and get in. And same thing, Claudia, which group are you in? Are you in group 3? Yeah, Claudia and Upendo and Johanna are all assigned to group 3 if you can join. Very good. Cosmos, you're supposed to be in group 2 if you can join, please. Are you there, Cosmos? Are you having trouble connecting? Hi, Anesmo. Shall I announce that the groups are closing? Anesmo?
Maybe we should, yes, please.
Would you like me to close the rooms 1 minute?
Yeah, 1 minute will be enough, please.
Gotcha, brother. The announcement is sent. There were only a few people that were did not join rooms, were either unable to or were shy or couldn't because they weren't by their phones. But again, it's a small group, and we'll just hope everyone keeps trying. If they have internet difficulties, we do our best. Technology is our friend and our enemy at the same time. So.
Yeah, sure.
All right, Anesmo, you got 30 seconds. Everyone will be here. Three, two, one. You're on the air, sir.
Well, thank you, MJ. Now, can we hear from the members of the rooms? At least one from each room? Did you get the mentors and the mentees?
Nataki's hand was raised. If you'd like to go ahead, Nataki. And then if anyone else would like to join, please raise your hand. This is a wonderful opportunity now to speak to the world.
Yes. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Nataki.
Yes, I have got the mentor. I presented my concern that it has been a difficult moments to teach English exactly in a rural setting where mostly number of students speak vernacular languages, and even they cannot even afford to speak the national language. So it has been a very big challenge for me to teach them exactly to come up to a good English environment for them until they leave the school, and others they cannot manage even to explain or to have a stand in English. Thank you. So I got the mentor. Maybe she's coming here to explain deeply how she can have a hand with me. Thank you.
Okay, can we hear also from your mentor, and perhaps will be before I go to the next slide. If she's around.
Hi, good evening. It's me.
Yes, Sriya.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Forgive me for the noise. I'm in transit. From my experience, if you want to teach any language, you have to let the children, you have to introduce the children to the importance of learning something new. I think that has come with a lot of trial and error. And then when they see the need or the importance of learning something new, then I think it's up to the teacher to really find the tools necessary to be, to try and connect to this group.
Okay, thank you. One more, maybe we can get from one mentee before I continue.
Can have from Hoja in group 1. Hoja, go ahead.
Yes, hello. In that case, in our group, we discussed about what to do when there is a massive failure among the students. That is what a mentee wanted to be assisted. We have suggested that when there is a massive failure, that one can be solved by either the teacher to develop some new teaching methods, But also another thing that can be done when there is massive failure, we have to encourage learners to work hard, but also provide more tasks and also help the learners to develop a positive attitude towards what they are doing. But in the case that has been presented by the first speaker, what I can say is that in that scenario, a teacher has to make sure that the students are more cooperative in whatever task that will be done in the class. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I saw one hand, but I won't allow because the time is almost up. So basically what I was doing is teaching how to get a peer mentor. You don't go to get a peer mentor unless you have a goal. You have something that you want to be mentored for. And after identifying the mentor, then you have to set the vision. What is, you create your mutual vision. What is the roadmap? What the purpose of that relationship? But this mentor should be someone experienced enough to guide you on how to approach a particular problem. And what I was saying is you might be a mentee at this particular point because you have something that you need to be mentored on, but you are not an empty vessel. You also have some strengths that your mentor don't have. So you also become a mentor at a particular point. This is what we call a peer mentorship. So what I said is first, do you have something that you need to be mentored? If yes, can you find one? Can you find a mentor who is a co-worker, a friendly one, by whom you think will be able to help? And this person should be honest enough to help. And in this case, it's all in all aspects, not only in academic, in all aspects. But third, you need to get guidance. If you have a mentor and you are not well guided, you will not reach the end. I don't know if I shared the screen.
The screen is not shared, Onesmo. Yeah, it's now fine. No, fine now. Go ahead.
So I was like, you have the mentee, but you have the objective and you have the mentor. But you can see the mentee, the objective, and the mentor are linked. And now, you know, the role can turn around. So the mentor at a point will always be the mentee on the other side. And the role, if changes, then that's all. But the focus of mentorship should be achieving the major objective. And you're saying it links between, you know, the relationship links between the mentor and the mentee. I don't know if the time will allow, I had this again, a breakdown where we have a teacher complaining of many roles at the same time. So I wanted us, if we could have maybe 3 minutes in a room. MJ, would the time allow us?
Yeah, we're supposed to finish exactly at the 80:30, so we have 2 minutes to go.
Well, in 3 minutes, how would you advise a teacher who is complaining of many roles, that I'm a teacher, I'm not supposed to act as a doctor, I'm not supposed to act as a social worker, I'm not supposed to act as a counselor? In the break rooms, 3 minutes, we discuss how would you mentor such a teacher?
The problem is we don't have that 3 minutes. Onesmo, I don't think, I'm not sure if you heard him. We only have about 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes left, brother. So we have to kind of wrap it up. I apologize. I'll have to make about 30 seconds of remarks as well, but please feel free to take another minute. Sorry, you're rushed. My apologies.
Sure. So what I was saying that peer and good bad luck, I could not talk about the teamwork, but peer mentorship has 3 important things. First, get a goal. Do you want to be mentored on what aspect? After you have what you want to be mentored into, get a mentor. You find a co-worker who will help you to tackle those challenges. And this co-worker should be more experienced, should have a different approach of tackling the issue that you want to be mentored. And then you set the vision, or you set the route on how to go about tackling those challenges. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Onesmo. And again, I apologize that you were a bit rushed there with your presentation. And now I need you to stop sharing your screen if you can, please. And then I'm going to go ahead and give a few closing remarks here to everyone, if we can.
Let me see if I can do that.
Thank you so much, sir. And I want to thank everyone again for coming today, for your time.
MJ.
I know it's late in the day, and I know you're all professionals, and this is taking time out of your personal schedules. I respect that very much. I respect your commitment to your students and to your professional development. I hope that you were able to take something useful from today. I promise you that when we meet again in 2 weeks, I will be developing on a lot of what I started today. Today was an introductory lesson into comparing how we teach grammar and vocabulary. We're going to go into both of them more in depth in the next session. And I'll probably take a little longer in the next session, everyone. So be ready. And again, in the meantime, until then, please be safe, be well, work hard. Let me see faces, as many as I can now. Salim, nice to see yours, brother. Matthias, Zaduna, John, Lucho, Florence, you're somewhere there. Alfonsina, Techno, very good. Irene, there you are. You're cold. Onesmo, thank you so much for the presentation. Well done. Technology can always be very challenging, and you dealt with it well. God love, thank you, brother. Great to see your face. Hazra, everyone. Listen, all of you, thank you so much. As usual, I love Tanzania. I can't wait to be there in September. I can't wait to see you all again for the next session. To my TELTA colleagues, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and we'll build on what we did today, okay? And on that note, I'm going to give the famous wave now from America. Thank you all, and please be safe, everyone, okay? We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Matthew.
I hear you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Where's Mr. Masuya? I can't see your face. I heard your voice somewhere.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
I am
Good lesson.
There he is.
Thank you very much for the nice lesson.
Thank you, everyone. All right, brother. All right, everyone, take care. Please stay safe, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank